morning everyone. I'll be presenting on HTML5, and since this is a not on scheduled topic, I'm not prepared, so it would be great. Let's have it as a discussion because this presentation I prepared pretty long time back, and there are a lot of advancements from that. I may be wrong in some of my thoughts or whatever I did during this presentation. So feel free to discuss on that. Since half an hour, it could be a very good debate. If anybody knows better about HTML5, please share. So the topics which I have, it's just like we can have a point of discussion. Maybe. So I have structured this presentation in 4 sections. One is HTML5 basics, and then what is there for this session 2 is on this is takeaway, like what's in for the developer. From the developer perspective, what all we can do in HTML5. Next is, as an ethical actor, where all opportunities he has to get into the application. You will be seeing that in session 3. And session 4 is for web testers or code reviewers who review the code. For them, what is there? What suggestions they can make?
You have time till 10:15, so you cannot give the talk 10.
Okay. So what is there for code reviewers or people who do review of the code? Anybody knows code reviews, right? The development team provides the complete developed project to the source code reviewer. So he will just go through the review and then he basically finds for security vulnerabilities. And he informs the developer, asks him, these are the issues in this particular application. So how could and how to remedy for that? What are the remediations for that? What are the possible solutions to make that application more secure? That is the job of the source code reviewer or web testing person. Fine. A lot of you would be doing a testing of a project, or if you are a freelancer and you have taken a project for code review, source code review, you can do it in this way. You can search where all you can give inputs to your client or the developer. So these are the things which I will be covering in these 3 sections. HTML5 is a new standard. It's still work in progress. Some of the pieces have been implemented, some have not been implemented. With respect to browsers, some of the browsers do support, some doesn't. So it is not like full-fledged solution, but each browser has its own way of interpreting HTML5. Although, when it comes to W3C, these are the overall functionalities HTML5 has. So everybody aware of HTML4, right? HTML4. Yeah, you are familiar, right? So other than HTML4, these are the new features in HTML5, and we can go through each one. So HTML5 provides, it's divided into initial and W3C specification and HTML5 related technologies. These are the overall, and whatever you can find in green is recommended by W3C. This is also green, but it is a little bit lighter or darker, depends on the color you see from there. So these are the proposed solutions. Recommendations, that means a lot of people would have recommended we need such and such a more improvements in that. Last call, working draft, and these are the deprecated ones. So all these are deprecated as part of HTML5. So in this, what are interesting? These are very interesting stuff. So if you use HTML5, there is no need for having Flash. So it is like already we have, everybody is doing the same thing, but using Flash and other kind of technologies. But when you start with HTML5, those things are not required. Those plugins, that extra fittings and all, it is not required. Directly you can generate a small piece of it. So that is the general difference. So here these are some of the new modifications to HTML. And again, it's a collaborative effort between a lot of people. One is W3C consortium, and then WHATWG. This is again a consortium, different groups contributing to the whole HTML5. Okay, the primary objective you could see. Yep. It's more like war between these two people. Apple versus his name is just Go. He's from Adobe. So it's like a war between these two people. So Steve Jobs wanted to ensure that Adobe should not be there on the map. So he started supporting HTML5. So basically, whatever feature Adobe was offering, Adobe was giving, he wanted to replicate, and hence he supported HTML5 and a lot of features which was there as part of Adobe came into it. So this is the general difference. So when you compare HTML and Flash, faster, better with respect to performance, HTML5 or Flash. Now HTML5, it takes some time to understand. Now most of the applications are in Flash. It's a result kind of vary. And then which one is cheaper? Definitely, of course, HTML5 is cheaper. Adobe you need to pay. Whereas then when compared to better visual effect, as of now, Flash has got more facilities compared to HTML5. The features in HTML5 is, although it's evolving, it would take some time to get the maturity level of Flash. Next is compatibility. Compatibility, again, HTML5 has great compatibility with iPad and iPhone. And old browsers, Flash has got a better compatibility.
There is, you can connect with the Wi-Fi. TW guest.
Do you want password?
Key.
So, if you've been paying attention to chatter on the internet these days, especially geeky chatter, you may have heard the term HTML5. Well, what is that? HTML stands for, forget it, but it's the behind-the-scenes coding language that makes us able to see stuff online. Since the original HTML was invented with the web over 20 years ago, it has gone through many updates, but it's been more than a decade since the last one, and in web terms, that's pretty much forever. I mean, like 10 years ago, we all still loved our digital watches. Wow! Calculator. So HTML has been a few steps behind changes on the web for quite some time. For example, when video came along, it was already integrated naturally into HTML, so different companies developed their own video players to work around it. These worked okay, but they were all external plugins, meaning that you had to download them, and this was, well, annoying and potentially risky. HTML5 has added capabilities to deal with this stuff, like video, right into its code, so that plugins hopefully won't be necessary. And there's plans to add a bunch more cool stuff that previously was tricky or even impossible to implement with HTML alone. The overall hope is that someday it will create a standard, consistent web experience across all devices and browsers. HTML5 is still being developed, and as of early 2012 isn't 100% finalized, but the browsers are starting to implement some of its features, and together they're working hard to get HTML5 fully ready for, someday in the future.
Okay, this is completely from development point of view. You are a HTML5 developer. I'll show you some of the code, how to, what are the different kind of features it provides. So these are the new features. There are n number of features. These are some of them which I have picked up, which I found separate from the others. So drag and drop feature, we'll go through each one, a demo of it in the later section. So there is canvas and SVG. I'll explain what is the difference between the two. Then HTML5 geolocation. This is really great. I mean, whatever we get in Google Maps, this is very useful. You can just directly pass the coordinates, and then it will show a particular point where you are in. I mean, it can be used for various purposes. It gives certain interfaces where you just pass a single piece of line, couple of inputs, and you can use that map application. So it works out really great, and it was very easy to do. And then web forms is again an interesting topic. Local storage and session storage. So HTML5 comes with the storage, if not many did not know that. So you can store in a HTML5 itself. It offers a small database. It's called a small database, and you can store it over there. That demo also I'll show you how it is. So no need to go for connecting MySQL. If it is a simple application and not risky application, no need to go for RDBMS database, try to connect all those things and all this. Not at all. Directly, you can do it with HTML5. So this is a big advantage. So you can create almost RDBMS kind of database within the browser itself. Advantages is it's very fast. You need not have to refer every time to the server and then get the information, fetch the information. So all these things are taken care of. Since it works in the browser, it's much faster. User experience is really great in this. And HTML5 cache. This also I'll go through. WebSockets. WebFocus is a very great concept. It's a 13 concept. If I could give an example, maybe I'll take that later in detail. Then there are a lot of server-sent events. So this is also an interesting concept. So we'll go through each one by one. So what is the difference between SVG and canvas? I mean, which is more useful? So SVG is vector-based graphics. It's highly resolution independent, and then it's again a recommendation from the W3C. It is more DOM-based. So let me show you a demo, and then we'll get into this. this canvas. Okay, if you see canvas code, this is a sample piece of canvas code. Otherwise, you could have taken, if it was Flash, it would have been very difficult. You need to do a lot of things. But here it is directly a simple piece of script. Canvas, just create your user-defined some variable attribute over here. Your browser does not support the HTML5 in case it doesn't support, this message will pop in. So this is the sample piece of code. And if you so just directly get the ID. And for this doc type HTML is very important to mention this one. This is when you will understand it with HTML5. If this is not there, it will interpret as the normal HTML. So if you this creates the canvas ID, the Canva instance of canvas, and then you can start accessing that from here. I mean, whatever the so it will pull up from the internal library, and then get element ID. You take into this, get context 2D.
It is written in JavaScript.
Yeah, JavaScript. It's full of JavaScript. So HTML5 is basically a combination of CSS, JavaScript, and so this would be very good for gaming and all. So if I want to draw an arc, so this is the way to represent it in Canvas. In HTML, suppose if you want to represent, since this doc type is very important, then you need to have this one. SVG, you need to define SVG. So if you want to draw a triangle, rectangle, anything, you can directly define it as polygon and directly refer the points. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, programmatically to do this, it used to take a lot of effort. Either we should have gone for struts, or we need to have a DOM based or some kind of plugin, or a lot of JavaScript includes. All these things are not required. These are some simple stuff where they have direct solutions. So circle is also very easy to draw. Just circle and then just mention the coordinates. So what is the difference between SVG and Canvas? Can anybody try to identify? See, Canvas is
We are using internal we are using a built-in tag and coordinates.
yeah, that is one. Apart from that, one basic feature, if I'm not wrong, it is if you minimize it and maximize it, you won't lose the resolution. If it was just an image, to minimize and maximize the resolution is lost. So why people go for this kind of features is whatever you do with the screen, the resolution should not be lost. So that
For
is
the canvas code, I guess we have written in such a way that it is required in canvas syntax. That's why it's something. JavaScript we have decided. Because we are taking a coordinates from the browser DOM. That's why.
yeah. So here hello world. So I'm writing this text from the coordinate. So the advantage is if I maximize even the font, maximize and minimize, it would stay as it is, or it will take the shape of the browser. So something on that lines. Okay, now let us take something else interesting. So this one is okay. WebSQL. I hope I have it there. This is a very interesting topic. WebSQL, how to create connections, and insert data into the database, and how to view that. I hope I have the necessary code snippets. SQL, I think we need some plugin. Okay, I think you need some kind of plugin to view the SQL part. So not a problem. Let's see the code how it is written. So how to connect to WebSQL? It's very simple. So open database, it's already there as part of when you. This is like this works as an import. If anybody has worked in Java, we give import, and then it takes automatically those libraries. So if you give directly open database, it will refer to the internal library, and you can only just pass the attributes, and it gets connected. So MyDB, TestDB, you need to create a TestDB. And then these things, message. So create table, if not exists, null meet. So I have created a table called null meet, and inside null meet, I am inserting two values, Bangalore and Chennai. Okay, then document selector, message. So first is I am inserting some values, and then I am retrieving back. What I am retrieving, select star from null, I am retrieving all the values, whatever is inserted. So it's a simple piece of code. I mean, just imagine. Otherwise, you need to, if you are using Java or any other feature for this, you need a separate class for it. You need a Tomcat server. You have to host in the Tomcat server. You need to have a JDBC ODBC connection to connect to that MySQL server, or if you have MySQL or MySQL server. It's a huge, humongous amount of things. So everything is just, they have made it as very static and as well as very dynamic. This makes HTML5 very powerful. But again, there is a security risk, but not all applications need to be secure, right? There are a few applications where there is no need for security. During that time, this creates wonders. I mean, very easy to use. A lot of features are built in, so that way this would be really great to work with, and very, you can get a lot of applications, more robust applications, very easily and much faster.
Where it will store the data? I'm not getting
That is it's in the browser itself. Browser has somewhere. No. It's within the browser. It,
what it makes sense for, as a developer, like I want to store the data in somewhere, not at my server place. Why do I save the data on there?
That's what. That depends on the application to application. If you need this to be stored in.
Get the open let's say even if you not store the data locally, and when you go online, it can send the online data. But we cannot rely on HTML5 on our whole concept.
Yeah, not on whole aspect. I mean, if it is a banking application, you implement HTML5. It doesn't make sense.
This API is not in HTML5 actually, I guess.
Yeah, it is there. See, your browser should be compatible with
Yes,
HTML5.
I read it in Wikipedia somewhere. WebSQL that API is not an actual part of HTML5.
Yeah, that's a bit different.
Yes.
It is used with HTML5 apps, but it's a different.
No, but when somebody stores some data, it gets stored in WebSQL. It's part of the browser only, right?
Only Chrome supports it.
Chrome, Opera, and
Local
Safari.
storage is available for.
See, support is different, but finally the data is stored in
It's not part
browser
of the
itself.
spec. It's not part of the HTML5
HTML5 specs. Yes.
Okay.
WebSQL is a Chrome thing. Like it makes it.
So, but the query here is where is the storage? Whether it will store in some repository or within the browser itself. Yeah, within the browser. That's what I'm trying to say.
Not within the browser or on the computer.
Yeah. I think browser will create a SQLite instance and stuff.
Yeah, something like that. That's a good point you brought up.
Even though Firefox
somewhere
uses
it will be
SQLite for
stored,
bunch
but
of
not
things,
in a
not
separate
for
server.
websites.
Not in a separate server. In a,
Where a real-time example, like where we can use it, this concept, this DB. Like if it is storing on DOM or something like that.
It's not storing in a DOM, it's storing in a file which is on the computer, right? It would be like the browser profile directory,
Okay.
right? The advantage of using something like WebSQL is that rather than doing queries over a flat file or an XML, where the entire thing has to be loaded in memory, right? Your same kind of queries can operate, so it's more efficient. But one of these things will become the standard at some point.
and also I would like to clarify on DOM. Maybe and this is what I feel about DOM means. It is a way to interact with your HTML tags. So document object model, it doesn't store data. If you want to, for image you have to modify something, document dot image dot you do something. So that is DOM. Time up? Okay.
We can cover some.
Okay, this is the way to do the database transaction. So I want to show the database. Akash, I have a question. I forgot how to access web.sql in Chrome. Do you need a plugin or directly?
It's under one of the tabs. Resources and local storage. So that bottom
Oh.
screen,
In developer
go to resources.
Resources where?
Yeah, in the
Sources, okay. Oh, okay.
after profile.
no, the tab.
Resources.
No, before audits.
Satish,
Source,
the
timeline,
tab source
profile.
timeline profile resources.
Resources.
Okay. Yeah. So it creates. So this is the code which I have written to store two values, and this is getting displayed over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Satish.